afternoon and welcome to another episode of Contagious Smile Unstoppable. This is going to be an interesting one today because, as you know, Unstoppable is a platform where we discuss more intense topics without a filter. And Faith is in here with us today with Michael. Hey, Faith.
Hey, Ann.
And Michael's in here.
Howdy, y'all.
And so we're just going to have an open forum and talk about topics and subjects and thoughts that come on our brain. And so I'll apologize in advance for what might come out of my husband's mouth. So,
you know what?
Oh, here we go. It's already beginning. So, how does everybody feel about what's happening in the social media world right now?
Just to tell you, a lot of stuff happening with social media world.
Speak up.
There's a lot of things happening in the social media world.
For instance, like on certain platforms, you can go on and they show violence and sexual acts and all sorts of other things. Yet, if we put on there how we are, looking to be home or help with our support dogs, my husband's been banned. But you can show violence and other things, and nobody does a flipping thing. Why do you think that is, babe?
I don't think like that, so I have no clue. I was just watching a video where a lady fed some type of animal, small furry animal. It appeared to be a dog or a cat to an alligator, just to see the death roll. Okay?
What?
Yeah. Why can that be allowed, but you can't allow me to post a picture of a puppy,
Cute puppy.
such a cute puppy, and just a simple comment, hey, I'm having a great day as a puppy, and I get banned for that.
That's a very, very good question. But then there's all sorts of things. What do the two of you think? Let's go political for a second about the fact that I know that you guys don't keep up with the news like I do, but
Yeah, I'm not much of a news person, you know that.
right, but it is commonly known that if you are in front of or will be in front of anyone in the royal family, that you do not approach them physically unless they approach you. So when Queen Elizabeth was alive, if she reached out for your hand, then it was okay to take her hand. And if you're going to go meet with them, it's reiterated to you time and time again the proper etiquette for meeting the royal family. Well, our government, if you will, has done more than once. Michelle Obama actually touched the Queen first, and then it showed up on the news today and yesterday how Biden was over there with now King Charles, and he not only put his hand on his elbow, but he put his hand on his back. And these are, things that you are well told in advance that is not acceptable behavior for the royal family. And do you think that it makes us as Americans look bad?
But what have we come to expect from Joe?
I've never in my life known
The opposite of what it should be, right?
I've never in my life known a president to go to the beach where everybody else is and just sit there. And every time you see him, he looks lost. He's wandering around. Like I watched him walk to his car with his Secret Service, and he literally was walking like, I don't know, how would you describe it? Like he was lost and old. And I just don't see how somebody in the Democratic Party isn't saying to him, hey, when you're making comments like, when's the last time I went out of the country? Where did I go? Who did I take? When's the last time I saw one of my grandkids? Which he's not claiming is one of his. He's not claiming that, all the situation with Hunter. And then all of these other things are happening. How come somebody in the party is not saying, hey, for the best situation of our country, you need to let somebody else take the primary for Democrat in the election and step back?
Can I pause right here?
Sure.
Why should I answer that?
We're doing a podcast right now. You want to know where my eye is?
Yes. I just got home from work and I'm looking at my beautiful wife. I want to know why your eyes red. You've been rubbing it. Is it irritated?
I've been cleaning and
You got something in
here.
All right, this is us.
Yeah.
Okay. Like when I come in, what was the first thing you said to me about when we sit down here in the office?
Let's do a podcast.
No, Miss Universe.
I wasn't going to talk about that.
Okay.
Okay. Miss Netherlands, who now became Miss Universal at Netherlands, whatever the title is transgender, from male to female. But everywhere you go, that's what you're seeing now. And what I don't understand, that's not really fair for the women who train for years and years and decades and to perform with their dignity and grace. And then they've got to be somewhat bitter. And I'm sorry, I got to agree with Caitlyn Jenner and the fact that I don't agree that a transgender person should compete in women's sports when you've got women who have been training most of their life, if not their whole life, and then a man comes in with an upper hand, the fact that their body is different than ours. No matter how you do it, you can get breast implants, you can get that down there removed, but you're still going to have a different build and different muscles than women. And you go into a women's sport and you win. That's not really fair. And maybe I am being naive, but no matter where I check, I've never seen a woman turn man. I haven't seen it, doesn't mean it hasn't happened, but I haven't seen where a woman turned man has taken first place in something that is a man's sport. I haven't seen that anywhere. And if it is, nobody's making such a big deal about it as they do when it's the other way. I mean, you just keep hearing how these kids are going to school and saying, I want to be a woman, and then they're allowed into the locker rooms and they can shower and change, and pregnancy is up in young kids, and the sexual acts are starting in elementary school.
I would not scold my child if they refuse to go take a shower after a football session or whatnot, ordered by the teacher. No. And they should install single occupancy only bathrooms in school.
Now let's take it
for those kids who want to go in there and just be, have their private time and go in there and
private time alone.
Well, alone
because
as a boy or a girl,
right,
and not have some
and sexual crimes are being committed. Now let me ask you: if you play football, then when you got done playing a game, if you had gone in junior, senior, whatever, and there was a trans girl to guy, are you going to tell me that if she hadn't had all the appropriate surgery, or even if she had, that they're not going to make fun of her, they're not going to do something to her?
Oh, absolutely.
Say she's taping her chest down at this point when she hasn't had a reduction. They're not going to laugh and make fun of her or do something to her if she's in there in the shower?
Of course they are. They're kids.
Right. But see, that's the thing. I think it should be illegal, personally, for anyone under the age of 18 to even begin the transitioning period, because there's that whole hormone period. There's that whole puberty period. They have to be able to, this prepubescent blockers that's out there now where people can stop puberty from happening. It's dangerous. Excuse me. It's dangerous for you to try and have your kids stop puberty. I mean, the frontal lobe of the brain isn't even completely formed until mid-20s. So how are you going in there and allowing your kid? And then what if they change their mind? I mean, you cannot have a baby as a complete trans over, nor can you enjoy the intimacy acts of intercourse to their fullest because of all of the stuff that's been done to you. So, I mean, I guess I just don't understand. Growing up, we had gay, we had lesbian. Okay, I get it. And now there's like, what is faith? What is non-binary? Means you don't see yourself as a man or a woman?
Yeah.
I mean, there's two sexes. There's a man and there's a woman. And I understand people now are trying to go from one to the other. I get it. Hey, I don't care who you're with as long as they treat you with respect and keep their hands off of you in a non-wanted way. If you don't want them touching you, then they shouldn't. If they treat you with respect and they treat you the way you deserve to be treated, then I don't care if you're black, white, Hispanic, Latino, as long as you're happy and you're being treated with respect. I don't care, gay, straight, whatever the case may be. I don't care. But to say, I just don't understand. Like every day there seems to be a new letter growing into the LGBTQA plus community. And it's really confusing because I can't seem to keep up.
I'm right there with you. That's why I don't pay attention to news hardly.
Well, I have to pay
It's
attention
just
to
too
news.
much it's too much negativity.
Well, they say if it leads, it leads.
And then they spotlight the stupid stuff, like you said. And you know, where's the good guys at? You know, where's these heroes? Have you ever invited a police officer over to your house for some coffee and donuts?
They're free to come in now.
Right? They always go to your house for the bad stuff.
Yes, baby.
I don't know if it was related or not, but 3 months ago I found out something that is real, but let's say a born employee, right? And this later, like in physical center, took that operation and did that operation and found out that the nurse was actually the guy that it was born and fell the whole time.
Draw your picture.
So I don't know if it was related or not, but that this one is born
You're grounded from YouTube.
I was not from YouTube. You could have born one, not born on the other.
Some people are born with both.
But some people could have born as one, and then could decide who they should be.
That's your job.
That's your daughter right now.
I'll claim her 1,000%.
I'll claim her too. Gotta get her head out of it, but
I had my word.
you're over there talking science fiction right now.
Yes.
And what I don't understand is that, for instance, we are here to help support other people. We're here to help other people. But constantly, and I hate that this happens with Faith because I'd rather it be me because I'm used to it than be my daughter, our daughter, right down for me. But you try so hard to help people. You try so hard to do good and help people, bring them to a higher level of success and growth and healing. And you never ask for anything in return. You don't want anything in return except their success, their happiness. But once in a while, when you need something, you're no longer necessary. You're no longer of value because you can't do anything for them that they need. So to help them. And that is so wrong and so not okay. I mean, it's not okay.
But it's the meaning of passing to it.
I mean, people that you believe are there and are true friends or family members, and then you've helped them every way possible and been there for them, and then all of a sudden it's like that stupid light switch just turns off, and then they're not going to be there when you need them for whatever. But you can lift them up and support them and be there for them. But God forbid that you actually ask for something. It doesn't happen. What are your thoughts on why that's changing so much now?
It's different generation coming up, and they're not being educated by their grandparents in the ways that is right and wrong. You know how folks should be treated, how they should treat others, and I say grandparents because we're almost at that stage. Grandparents. Oh, what? You're nearing the big.
You're over there closer than I am. So be very careful. You're knocking on the door and with 1 foot in. So be very careful.
So even with our parents, it wasn't taught as much, but with our grandparents, it was taught more. So hold the door for the lady. Say please and thank you. Take off your hat at the dinner table. Things of that nature. Worth ethics. Get out there and get some calluses on your hands, boys.
I think them too.
Girls too. You don't have to always be barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen, ladies.
I wish I could be barefoot.
But yeah, so that was my 2 cents.
But that's the thing. That's why people have such a hard time trusting people now, because of the fact that when you do open the window just enough to get a little bit of new air hypothetically in, and and you trust somebody, and then they suffocate you with falsifications, then it makes it even harder for you to trust again and again and again and again.
And plus, yeah, well, I've been through that multiple times. And I'm just still used to it right now.
But you don't get used to it because you have a good heart. And if you didn't have a good heart, then it wouldn't bother you and it would make you no different. That's the whole thing. Because it doesn't make you different if you act just like them. You say here and then you don't follow up, and then this is what happens. And then you end up having trust issues. And I have to say, when you have someone that says something like, "Oh, you've adopted a kid that's not yours," then that makes you a hell of a person. You know what? To hell with you. Sorry, but just because you did 2 pugs and a push doesn't make you a dad. Trust me. 2 pugs and a push, and when you last shorter than a 30-second commercial, does not make you a father. What makes you a father is someone who's there, loves that child like they're theirs, loves them, is there for them, nurtures them, teaches them right from wrong. That makes you a father. You know, you think, perfect example, I watched an interview with Jeffrey Dahmer's parents, and she was so quick, the mom was so quick to say, "Don't call him Jeffrey," because she was adamant, you know, and the dad was talking about he couldn't connect himself to his son because when he was little, he took him into the woods and he had found a dog and decapitated the dog and put him on a stick. And he said, "I can't see myself as his dad, even though I'm biologically his dad." So it's not the whole who was there for the act of, it's who's there for the life of. And I think that makes a huge difference. A huge difference. What do you think, Dad? Because you are the only dad she's ever known and the only dad she's ever considered. You're the only person who's ever been in that role.
And you're the pain.
True.
I'm the pain. You're the pain. I even asked the pharmacist if they have a feel for pain in the butt.
I don't know out. It's really not helping the
Well, it doesn't have to be, you know, you can be humble about it. It doesn't have to be a hell of a guy to take care of a child that is not their own. It just has to be genuine from your heart. You know, love that child as your own.
But from inception, you have never, ever considered Faith to be anyone but
What, my
yours.
redheaded stepchild?
You've never considered her your stepchild.
I'm your first father.
You have she says you're my first father,
You said dog.
daughter.
I said I'm your first father.
That's
Yes.
right.
Even though you are a redheaded step.
I don't want to hear that way.
But seriously, like, and then the other thing is I've heard so many times from so many people, and I will give out the information that this is a button for me. I would say a trigger, but it's a button. When someone says, "Oh my God, why would you want to be in a relationship with someone who's been abused? They're damaged goods." Well, you know what? If guys and girls who quote unquote damage us got their heads out of their freaking asses and treated us the way we deserve to be treated, then you wouldn't have to have damaged people. And that's so irritating because in today's world, everybody seems to be quote unquote damaged. You, my husband, clearly openly say you've never been happier. Is that
Absolutely 1000%. Yes, you are right, dear.
oh my God. But if anybody has the right to be sour and depressed and walk around moping, and
It's you,
yes, but I don't do that.
right?
I don't do that. But quote unquote in society,
Why is that?
should be damaged
Why?
because that son of a bitch is no longer has on hold on me.
So for a shameless plug here, you want to know what happened to Victoria? Read her book, Who Kicked First. Get it off the website or Amazon. Oh my gosh.
But
Oh, good timing.
right. So what I'm saying is if anyone has the right to be bitter, then it's me. If nobody walks, I don't go around and say, "Oh, like when you came home today, house is clean, our home is clean." And you walk in and say, "Oh, it's really nice, it smells good." Da, 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 da. I'm doing it one arm. I'm doing it deaf. I'm doing it with a titanium shoulder. I'm doing 26 pieces of metal on my face. The list can go on. But I don't sit there and say, oh, feel bad for me, I'm not doing this. Oh, woe is me, I'm not doing this. I don't sit in a corner and do nothing and watch TV all day long. That's not who I am. And so to be just saying that we're stereotyped as damaged, that's not fair. That's not right. Because we never went through what we went through if someone else didn't put us in that situation and damage us to begin with. And so we rise above it and we become a better version of who we were, because I look at all of my scars, and God knows I have many. When I look at all of my scars, I look at how many times that piece of shit failed and how many times I won. Because he is a coward. He was a joke. I mean, he took it out on a pregnant woman. He took it out on a dog. He took it out on an unborn child and then a child when she was first born. Then that's what I don't understand, is that you want to be a man. That doesn't make you a man. That makes you a freaking Catholic in my fucking. You came after me because I was pregnant. But you won't come near me when I'm not pregnant. And you made that statement in court. And that's the thing, is, but we're labeled as damaged. And they're labeled as, well, they must have been abused, so it's okay, feel bad for them, they have a mental illness. I'm sorry. And I am going to, say something I've never said in a podcast before, but fuck that. I'm sorry. That's bullshit.
Mom dropped the F-bomb.
No, it's bullshit, because I do not have sympathy for somebody because they beat the shit out of somebody. You don't get my sympathy because you're a raging lunatic. You don't get my sympathy, oh, you must have a mental illness because you raised your hand to your significant other or your girlfriend or your wife or your son or your daughter, or so you have a mental illness, so we need to forgive you and hold you close and say kumbaya and feel bad for you, but then we're titled damaged. Fuck that. That's not okay. It's not right. It's not gonna sit well. It just doesn't. Because what about us? Why are we labeled the damaged ones and they're labeled, well, they must have been abused? You know what? I didn't have sunshine and lollipops in my growing up childhood home. I did in my grandparents. I did in my childhood home. But I've never, Faith, have I ever raised a hand to you?
No. If you ever raise your voice, you're going to apologize if you sound like that one.
But I've never screamed at you.
No, and then yelled at me. And if it sounds like you you always apologize.
Right. But that's the thing, is that, I broke the cycle. So that's what needs to be done. Break the cycle. Show your strength. If you can survive and you look down at all those scars, those are closed wounds. You survived. At the end of the day, that shithead still has to look in the mirror and be that shithead. That's still who they are. And yeah, there are some lingering things that come with it. But at the end of the day, to say that, oh, they have a mental illness or they had a bad childhood, so it's okay that they did what they did and they need, a hug or whatever, is absolute crap. It's crap, because that doesn't make any sense to me.
So let's reverse that and say you're now damaged goods,
Okay,
right?
I've been told
You've been abused, and you go out there and you beat the shit out of your next husband.
my next husband, I get a new one.
Well, let's just say that.
Wait a minute, I get a new one.
Are you following me? Follow.
No.
Let's follow here. Okay.
Pretty funny, right? He
Oh,
wouldn't.
be quiet.
Back in the day, he wouldn't even let a man look my direction.
Oh my
And now,
gosh. Let's play along, kids. All right.
I wouldn't marry again.
And then what would they say?
I would marry again.
Are they gonna have sympathy on the husband?
Probably.
Or are they gonna have sympathy on you?
I'm gonna have sympathy on the person who was abusive, and I'm not getting married again. Thank you, but no thank you.
So they're gonna have sympathy on you.
Mhm.
Because you're not only are you damaged goods, but now you must have abuse in the past.
That's
Because you
what-
beat the shit out of your next husband.
That's what society seems to say.
That's ludicrous.
Right. But what's ludicrous also is you saying I'm getting married to somebody else.
Oh yes, that's true.
I worked way too hard to get you.
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did.
I spent 20-something years.
In the INS office.
Well, whatever the case is,
That's not what I was.
I had to build up to your level. I had to obtain.
And now you're saying you're my next husband.
Oh, well, if I'm going
It
one
was-
after the other, you know what I mean?
Okay, Faith, You can go out now.
No.
So, yes, it's ludicrous. So continue. We'd like to hear your voice.
No, I'm dumbfounded by your statement.
No, it was a hypothetical, woman.
Hypothetical by the end.
Why does society go so quick to judgment about these things instead of, if you're an abuser, instead of being like you have a mental illness, you have this, that, or the other. How many of these school shooters gone on trial and literally been found sane? They were found sane. So the defense of insanity was thrown out the window, and yet they have the nerve to say, oh, I don't want to die, whatever. And people feel bad for them. That doesn't make sense. I mean, there are some very calculating people out there that live everyday normal lives. You would never know. Like those kids that were, older kids who went to school. You didn't know that they were planning the school shooting. You had no idea. And then months later, they put into effect what their plan was. But then all of a sudden, they want to do the insanity plea. They're found sane, but everybody wants to coddle them in a way in regards to, well, they must have, had a bad childhood. They must have had an abusive home life or whatever the case may be. So instead of putting them in jail, let's go and put them in a mental institution and let's give them corrective behavioral techniques and therapy. But the thing is that if you raise your hand to an individual, I'm sorry, I don't think anybody should give you sympathy at all. Because if you're mad enough, let's take it a man to a woman. If you're mad enough to raise your hand to a woman, walk the hell away. Walk away. Because if your kids see it, they're going to see that's okay behavior to have in their life or accept or emulate that behavior. They think that's okay too. And it's not. I mean, it's not. More victims at that point go to jail for self-defense against their attacker than the attackers themselves. That's ridiculous. I mean, in a way, that's the only way they're going to be safe, is to be incarcerated. But that's not how it should be.
It's becoming acceptable. Did you ever follow up on the guy who executed his 3 kids?
He's waiting to see a trial.
Wow. That should be open and shut.
Right. But he has the right to a jury of his peers. I mean, he even went back and got one of the kids who tried to run for freedom and brought him back. And that is a trial that I would like to hear in the background while I'm working, because how can a father, you could not for a millisecond ask me if I could never put my hand on faith in a negative way. I couldn't do it. There's no way that I could ever.
I could whip her butt on her 17th birthday, though. Y'all hear that, boys? 17.
Who are you most looking forward to somebody meeting somebody you bring up, me or your father? Well,
oh no, them boys better run. They're not coming around my daughter. Did she just say I don't have the balls?
She did.
We are live on the radio, on the podcast. Girl, you can't say that. You're 16.
And Mom said the F word.
I did.
Mom did drop the F word.
Twice.
In front of the child.
You know what? Child. That child has
Child.
learned how to protect and defend herself. And she has put grown men, including you, on the ground. So, she's so strong in so many ways. More teenagers should look up to her and her true good full heart. Because she is an amazing
she's
kid.
A great kid.
She's a great kid because I raised her.
She's a great child.
Because I raised her.
Oh!
Because I raised her and she is fabulous.
Little Molly?
Never.
No. There's no problem.
Look
She's
like
an
her.
amazing kid. She is.
Yeah, it makes him feel with a nice face on mom. With her husband.
We'll take care of that.
A man hits a woman.
So it's self-defense.
Self-defense. For a man to hit a woman, self-defense.
No. If a man hit a woman, it's self-defense for the woman.
For the woman to what?
Hit it back. Self-defense at all. Like you caught me. Never fought it, but hit it.
That's right. Never started, but finished.
Well, then in law enforcement eyes, that's called an affray, and then they both can go to jail.
So they're supposed to stand there and take it?
Absolutely not.
So that doesn't make sense. So,
I'm just telling you what the law stipulated.
right, I understand
They
that.
both can go to jail for an affray. If the officer cannot determine, who's at fault, who's the aggressor, and they both have wounds on
On their
them,
person. Right.
totality of circumstance,
But if you have a history and you have reports and
Sure.
you have police reports on somebody and somebody got stupid,
they're gonna profile more on a man and prejudice towards a man because it's more stereotypical for the man to beat the woman.
but what do you do? Just stand there? Like my ex in the
No.
military? Just stand
You
there.
put a
and
stop
do
to
anything
it.
else? Been like, here we go. You knew dinner was supposed to be on the table at 7:01. The food's touching itself. Blah blah blah. And then you knew it was coming. But it's not right. This society has changed so much in the last 10 years, 5 years, that I can't imagine what it's going to be like in 20 years.
Yeah, I feel sorry for all three of our kids growing up in this and having to raise kids of their own. It's just a very, very soft generation coming up. And
Maybe a horror player basically.
no, soft them
Why fall?
because they don't want to work. They just the kids these days think that, hey, I'm 17, I deserve $85,000 a year.
For no house.
Right.
You're going to work for me.
Right. You're supposed to give me that job that pays, $110K with an office and, a view of the city, whatever, company vehicle. Don't you know who I am? I'm Joey Bag of Donuts.
That is how I've felt in my life.
Easy, greasy.
I mean, you have caught.
Just because I was a cop doesn't mean I ate a lot of donuts.
You ate a lot of something.
It's not enough to last later. So, once I caught life on donuts, I'm probably went to the donut place and moved in.
I did go to donut place today. It's called Starbucks for free coffee.
Bring you coffee.
It's free.
Because I brought it to you, you brought my son.
No, no. What am I now? Lord.
There's mom with a
Where's my guys out there? Help me out.
You're my partner.
there's mom with a pants and with a foot.
I wear the britches sometimes. Watch it.
No,
No,
mom with a pants.
Mom wears the pants.
Yeah.
you're my partner. Until my next one.
Oh yeah. Just hold that over my head.
No, I know like he's a butler.
No, absolutely not. He's my partner. He's my best friend. He's much sweeter to this way.
When you have to you know, calling what happened himself. Or not the call all the time. Or not anything else.
You are just like your mother. You know that?
Damn right.
Good Lord.
Like never let call.
That's right.
Walk on his face. The next one to let him.
You're enormous.
Now,
I
now.
hug and kiss you as soon as I walk in. On air? Oh, I did, didn't I? Well, I'm thinking about dinner. Got to include dinner for us since I'm the bitch. Got to cut the grass since I'm the man.
Whoa.
Got to take care of all the dogs.
Because I don't do anything for 20
We
hours
still
a day.
have plenty of dogs if y'all want to
So
adopt.
20 hours a day, I don't.
You do
Now-
some stuff.
I'm sorry, what?
You do some stuff.
What?
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 What fell out of your mouth?
I'm deaf. I didn't hear that stupid crap fell out of your
Well,
mouth.
if it weren't for cost, whatever.
So
Yeah,
I'm
it's years.
working to get you home full time.
And I'm out there fiddling around.
You're sleeping on the, and then you work, then you take a nap.
William Penrose is clearly special.
See, I'm nice. I say you're my partner. We do this together. What are you saying?
I love to do it together.
Ew!
What? What?
That's disgusting!
I was talking about the podcast.
No, no one else else.
You're 16. You're not supposed to be thinking about that.
And now, all the good millions. It's looking out and multiple times.
Wow, just wow. Woo.
Hey, Faith, I think you're supposed to be this high to enter this ride.
Michael, I can do a supposed to do 200 and he got it.
Oh, here we go. Here
She's
we
saying
go.
I'm old.
Yeah, put the
And she's got more gray hairs than I do. We just don't tell her.
You give them to her.
Probably did.
Yeah,
So what do you want for your birthday, babe?
what's the what I need to do? And two, go whatever I say until midnight, I'll just like,
Nope.
yeah.
What's missing in your life to make you unconditionally happy?
Loyal friend.
A loyal friend.
What's missing in your life?
I said that for him. So, knowing him.
More time with my family. And we'll accomplish that by,
Be continuing to work 20 hours a
that's
day,
right,
get you home
and
full
get my
time,
ass here. Yes.
even though I just do something.
And then we'll cut back into some things.
I'll do more work.
Work together. As a partner should do.
I'm always happy. Always.
Mm.
We're not fall asleep.
No, no.
Oh, yeah.
You've been up for 4 hours. Never mind.
Thank you. I love you most.
What about
Take
Papa?
your bite. All right, you guys. This was an interesting version. My husband's gonna take us out because I'm roasted.
A Contagious Smile website is still down. It's under maintenance. We're revamping some stuff. So check back with us here. Hopefully next week, within 2 weeks, maybe out to a month.
No,
I'm
absolutely
not
not.
quite sure yet. I'm getting different opinions. But at least give us another week on the website. Thank y'all for the donations. I've had people ask about if they can donate. Yes, you can donate. It goes towards helping feed our ever-growing population of dogs. If you want to purchase one of our dogs, contact us. Let us know. We'll get back to you and we'll get the dog out to you. Golden Retrievers. If you want to be on our podcast, send us an email and we'll get back to you. You can contact us through multiple platforms out there. We're on just about everything except for Twitch. I'm looking into that.
Faith wanted to say, yes, ma'am.
If you will like the podcast, then know this. Us women, tell them as women, or fucking open don't get married for the pasta, and we're not women. Men are stronger than men.
She said some.
That
She said some of us women.
I said no to that.
She said most of us.
Okay, most of you women don't need men to protect us.
I always said no because some of them took the number and they're sent to save themselves. Yeah,
Some women can kick ass.
like your mom.
Hmm.
I mean, I have
So you don't need me for anything.
I mean, I have
Oh, I
to
do.
go around.
Right, to go cook your dinner.
No, I tried to cook last night. You made me stop. You were like, I'll take care of it,
Damn
babe.
right.
I'll take care of it, babe. Let me cook for you. I'm like, I'll cook.
That's what a real man should do.
What going around?
It's always on here.
Knowing the
Always.
wife been working all day on the website, and then to come home and she's cooking dinner.
And creating courses.
One-handed.
Anytime about our course.
No,
And unshadowed. That's awesome.
so a Contagious Smile website will be back up soon. Reach out to us. You want to be on the podcast? We'll get y'all on. We have some more guests coming available soon. We needed more teens to come to our teen talk. And if you have a special someone in your life, special needs child, we'd love to have them on, spotlight them. Reach out to us. I'm Michael. This is Victoria, and my pain in the butt, Faith.
My turn, my turn. No, we'll turn.
Signing off for tonight.